Hello everyone, welcome to my memory plan for the week of April 5th. This week I'm using a really beautiful kit from Sadies stickers. It is in plummy purple pinks, really very pretty, and comes up beautifully with rose gold foil as the accent. So just taking you through the sheets that are available in this kit. I'm saying it's called Stay Positive, but that's because that is what is on that box, but I'm not really sure. I'll go back and check it and put it in the overlay. So just showing you through the full boxes, and you've got two lots of headers there, and you've got some deco, some trackers, and another group of headers at the side there, plus date covers, and I've used Stella Beau sticker numbers and some beautiful washi. That simply fine line through is stunning. So heading into the plans for the week, I've started off by marking that I was on leave. Yes, very enjoyable. I took some leave, extended over the end of the Easter period. So the Monday was actually Easter Monday, which you will see me mark shortly. And I've used one of the washi tapes from Simply Gilded that I used in the washi banner over on the right. And I've taken that right across the top of each of the days, just to signify that I had taken this week off, and just really, simply marked that whole period with this. There was more or less activities on some days than others. The whole aim of this particular week was relaxation. It's been a pretty crazy 12 months in healthcare, so to get 5 days off in a row is rather special and very enjoyable. So I'm just popping down the washi and then using my cutter and ruler to cut off the ends of that so that they're nice and straight. And that Simply Gilded washi, I'm trying to think what they call them, stardust, or so it's sort of basically got a little sprinkling of foiling across the top of them and a bit of an ombre effect with plums and pinks in this particular colourway. Simply Gilded do some beautiful washi, and it was nice to be able to get the opportunity to use a little bit more washi. I've got a really lovely collection of it, and I find I just don't use it as much as I should be, or I'd like to be, and I'm going to try and do a little bit more of that going forward in my kits. And definitely I'm hearing back from you that you do like having the washi banner over in the right. So for the moment, I'll try and include that as often as is practical. Now, while I'm just tidying that up, I'm also having a think about the stickers that I'm going to use to mark day off. And so I've taken this sticker sheet from Samantha Mae Sticks. It's quite an old one, and the pink is a little bit peachy, not quite exactly matching this kit, but enough that there's enough in the pinks in the flowers that I can get away with this without it looking too strange. And on the rose gold foil on it really is quite lovely. And so the fact that it was a nice break, I thought I'd sort of make a bit of a feature of the fact that I had a little bit of time off this week. I normally wouldn't go this all out sort of to mark work for the week because it's a little bit mundane, but it was worth celebrating having 5 days off. So that was the sheet from Samantha Mae Sticks, and that is just the leaf set across the top. You might also notice that underneath the date covers I've used a little divider. Last week I used a beautiful lacy one from Honeyed Ink and I really loved that, and I just thought for a change I might, this is just one of my little dividers that I've printed up and I quite like it. It's not as pretty as the honey inked one, but it was okay, and I would like to use them seeing I've printed them, so they were fine on this occasion, but I might work on doing something with a bit of a lacy look to it. But I quite like popping something foiled underneath the date covers just to make a little bit of a break between the date covers and when the week begins. So I'm using an Arctic Paper Studio Easter Monday sticker on top of one of the flags from the kit there on the Monday, just to signify that this was, it would have been a day off anyway because it was a public holiday here in Melbourne, and this was Easter Monday. And as I mentioned in my previous plan with me, I just completely forgot to use an Easter kit this year. I'm not quite sure where my head was at. And then I wanted to pull in these cute little circles with Easter bunnies and eggs on them from the Pretty Pink Co. But that line going through the middle there where I wanted to put this was just not really working for me. And I decided to go with something rectangular. And so still from the Pretty Pink Co, I ended up using one of the little rectangular ones with bunny ears. And I took one of the little small arrows from the kit that had a tiny gold bow on them, and I used those to sort of a little bit of a layer to mark on there that we had several days of lots of chocolate. The grandkids had an Easter egg hunt on the Sunday, and I don't think I've ever seen so many Easter eggs in all my life. The property of one of my sons, the whole front paddock was just scattered in eggs, and it was a really warm day, and by the time the kids all got to the eggs down the bottom of the paddock, they were starting to melt. You could see the glistening paper in the sun. Still, chocolate can be salvaged even when it's melted, and they went back into the fridge for a little while and all was good. The kids were certainly not complaining, but we didn't specifically join in the hunt, but we certainly had our fair share of chocolate. So I've just marked on there on the Monday morning, too much chocolate, because there was just chocolate everywhere. And so I was putting some in the cupboard to just bring out and slowly work through over the next couple of months. So underneath marking that particular box on the Monday morning, I decided that I would take the opportunity of the day off and no real commitments on this day, as we'd caught up with most of the family over the weekend. And I marked on here a filming session. So I used a film tripod. Actually, it's a really gorgeous film tripod, probably one of my favourite icons, which is not surprising because, of course, it's from Crafts by Thaowie. She is just bulletproof when it comes to beautiful icons. She does such a lovely job. So this filming tripod is gorgeous. I've just popped that over a tiny circle in the kit, and I've put a film script of my own beside it, and so it was marked quite simply. Now I've sort of gone ahead to that because it was the next thing on the list, but I actually did pop down to the bottom of this section and using a Lazy Day couch from GP Sticker Studio and some of the florals from the kit actually I cut that floral in half, which I've done quite a bit throughout, as you'll notice, and just sticking that above the lazy day couch. I was going to put that underneath the bunny ears, but I ended up going further down and putting that down lower on the box, and then, or lower on that section of Monday, and then I came back over the top of that with the film script. The GP Sticker Studio was closed, then it reopened, and I have to be honest, I'm not quite sure where it's at the moment. I think if she's closed, it is a terrible shame, because she has got some lovely icons, and I don't know, they're elegant. They're a little bit doodly, but not sort of cartoony or too doodly. They can also be elegant as well, and I think that's what I like about GP stickers. They are quite an elegant sticker, as well as being fun and pretty. So I'm just now going back to what I had described earlier in the processing of this film section. I can't remember which Plan With Me it was I filmed. I probably wrote it in the diary but didn't transfer it across to my memory planner. And I'm just fossicking through the stickers that I had got out. But I ended up using the film tripod, but I stolen out of the stash that I've got ready for my haul. It's all very well putting the things aside that you're going to haul and film, but I really can't steal myself away when I know that there's a sticker sitting in there that I'd like to use. So I did go and steal the tripod out of my deliveries and add it to this film script in the middle of the day. And that was pretty appropriate, really. After getting up and having a fairly lazy morning, I did my filming and then went back to a lazy afternoon. So really can't complain about that. And in my opinion, after the year we've had, the perfect way to spend a day off. So I'm just showing you the Crafts by Thaowie sticker sheet there with that tripod on it. And I've realised as I've got to the bottom of Monday that I had left a spot on my sidebar that I wasn't quite sure what I was going to put there, but in the end I ended up taking one of the little 3 tracker stickers, which was a half box essentially from the kit, and I popped that down with the numbers to one side and was just going to mark on there 3 things that I was hoping to do during this 5 days of the break, and that was to do some more designing and do those little lace stickers that I was talking about for up the top. I was going to do some planning. I want to set up a new planner that had arrived from Mumsy and Bub, and I wanted to we were going to do a couple of day trips, just a bit of a drive and go to some local sort of country areas close to us to spend the day, have some lunch, just mindful of the fact that so many places have really been doing it tough during COVID, and now that we're out of lockdown here in Melbourne for as long as that may last, to go and enjoy a little bit of a drive for as far as we can go and be sensible and safe and just change the scenery and enjoy the beautiful sunshine we had on this particular day. Now, getting back to the plans, I obviously didn't film what I had put down on Tuesday morning. So even though it was time off, at this stage there is no one else trained for payday. Not that that's a drama, the systems are all in place and it's really pretty straightforward. So I jumped online and got the pays ready for staff, and I've used one of my own payday scripts, a half box from the kit, and a cute little pinky plum money bag from Stella Beau Sticker Co. Again, actually, I've used a couple of her stickers through this spread. And then I've gone down underneath the full box and just used one of my, I suppose you'd call it a decorative frame. It's just a box with a fine gold line around it. And I marked on there that my husband and I went out for lunch to a little cafe in Beaconsfield that we're fond of. Fellow that owns it is just the most delightful man, and they're very consistent, great coffee. It's simple food, but it's really pleasant, and it's very nice to have lunch there. So we took advantage of the day off and headed down there for a meal. And then in the evening I've used a a flag from the kit. I've popped down the knife, fork and spoon, and they're from Print Petticoat Bandit, and they are a printable, so they're a sweet little knife, fork and spoon. I rather like those. And just wrote on there that one of my sons, his wife and the family came over for dinner this evening. Now moving across on to Wednesday. I don't think I mentioned that I used some deco from the kit on that decorative box on Tuesday, and I also used some more Print Petticoat Bandit printables, and they're just some little florals to add to something to bring in a little bit of extra foil. So popping across onto Wednesday morning, I've used a long flag from the kit. Then I took a Print Petticoat Bandit divider, put down the bottom, used a bit of white out underneath. Not really thrilled with that, not amazed by how that looks, so I might have a bit of a think about that. I don't often go back and change stickers, but anything's possible with that one. And I just marked on there that I jumped online to check some reports and some emails that had come in. We were advertising a new role at this stage, and I did want to see how that was going and filter a few things so that when I got back to work I wasn't going to have a ridiculous amount to have to go through. And then moving down underneath that particular event, I have used a half box from the kit. I've used again another section of those little foil deco pieces. They are a real bonus. I'm just loving adding this deco to things at the moment, these floral decos. And it's a little bit of a bonus that Sadies stickers are not only pretty floral deco, but she's done a splattering of little confetti foil in there which just catches the light. And it doesn't have to be much, but it just adds a little something extra to what may otherwise be a plain box. And on this occasion, I just marked down that I was surprised by how many responses they had been to the job. A little disappointed because I had really only asked for 2 things in the criteria, and 90% of the applications that I had read didn't have both or either of those 2 things. There was very few to choose from. An abundance of applications, but sadly not a great deal to choose from on this occasion. So then popping down in that little space underneath that half box, I've just used another one of those tiny little arrows with the bow on them from the kit. And I marked on here that, well, actually I started marking something. I put a barbecue for tea, and again I just didn't like how that was sitting. It was something about Wednesday that just wasn't flowing well for me, and so I really didn't like it. I thought I need to fix this, so I went back. I'm just not quite sure when I did it, but I think I've popped across to add the vitamins while I was having a think about that last entry, knowing that I really wasn't thrilled about it. So I popped one of my little sidebar stickers on for vitamins on this occasion, and then I did come back later and pop the little television, the little floral television from the kit over that barbecue, because I really couldn't sit with it. Most of the time I'm not that fussy, but for some reason I just wasn't feeling it and I really needed to fix it. I also used a header with important foiled onto it to pop above that tracker there, and this week I was going to use that for my gratitudes. And here you'll see me going back and whiting out that barbecue tea that I wasn't happy with, and popping that little floral. It's actually more of a computer monitor, but you know, what the heck, it can double for a TV today. And I marked on there that evening I did a bit of a YouTube binge, watched a few Plan With Me's, really looking through some plans of craft rooms, because I'm looking next year to go into another room in the house and extend my craft room, and I want to maximise every inch in there. The previous home, we had the luxury of a rather huge craft room, and it was very nice, and I had lots of room to spread. Unfortunately, in the home we're in now, while it's a lovely home, I just don't quite have that luxury. So we're going to go and see what we can do with one of the bedrooms that's about to become free. Now that finishes off the first half of the week, and I'm about to move across onto Thursday. So just underneath that day off, I have used from Rose and Tea Shop that beautiful marquee which has got the florals and the drapes, and I marked on here that it was our wedding anniversary. So then above that I've gone in with a print Petticoat Bandit divider, another one of her printables range, and popped that down. And I thought just to zhuzh up that marquee a bit and make a little bit of a fuss of our anniversary. After 40 years you stop counting, but we are well into the 40s now, and so it's worth celebrating, I think. And so I've popped on these little drops from the Pretty Pink Co, and they're very sweet. They're just a simple heart drop in various different lengths, and I've kind of taken them off the divider so that they dangle down onto the marquee, and they just add a little bit of extra shine, a little bit of extra bling to mark our wedding anniversary. And just to celebrate, and because you can, we headed out for lunch to a place, again not far from home, but rather sweet. It's a little bit old-fashioned, wouldn't be everybody's cup of tea, but it's called the Lavender Cottage, and it's sort of more of a tea rooms, but it has a very old-fashioned flavour to it. They do some really old-fashioned meals that are good and hearty and quite delicious. And we sort of went out there and had quite a leisurely time, sat and really took our time through the meal, and the day was absolutely superb. And it's in Bunyip, so it's a little bit of a country area, lots of lovely scenery around, a really pleasant drive heading down Gippsland Way. And we thoroughly enjoyed this afternoon and just lazily spent the afternoon enjoying the glorious day, the beautiful food, and just leisurely taking our time. So I've marked having lunch at Lavender Lady by using a quarter box going downways. I've used the other half of the mandala that I used up in the corner to mark April, and I've used a little bit of floral from the deco, and just marked on here Lavender Lady for lunch. And again, just took up a bit of room because we really did use quite a decent amount of the afternoon to leisurely enjoy this day. And then at the end of the day, down the bottom, which hasn't got a whole heap of room left, but enough to mark using a little layering circle and a television from Planning Like a Pro for the icon. And I've marked on there Sesur. Now it was the name of a Turkish movie. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I seem to be enjoying these. They're serials. They're episodes, multiple episodes of Turkish films. They do have subtitles, but they just seem to be quite well done, and I've quite enjoyed them. And this was a night of watching that because I knew I had 5 days and didn't have to be up super early in the morning. I sort of enjoyed watching a series right through during this week, and that was lovely. A really simple thing to do, but I just don't have the luxury of that most of the time, and I really enjoyed doing it. So I've marked that down the bottom of Thursday. So popping across on to Friday, I did mark that I had a sleep in because I did watch that show until quite late. In fact, I was surprised how late it was, and that's the thing when you're on holidays, is just sort of not really having much of a concept of what time it is and what day you're at. I love that feeling. So over there I have used a little pillow, a sleeping pillow. If you've seen others of my spreads, you'll know that I'm rather fond of these Mr. and Mrs. Mint sleep-in pillows. Now this one's just in a colour print, not a foil. I've got them in both the foils and in colour. And instead of using the Mr. and Mrs. Mint script, I've actually used a sleep-in script from Barney and Moon. So that's an Australian shop, and then Mr. and Mrs. Mint printable for the little pillow. And so that was the first entry for Friday. And then I've come down under there and used a half box, and it's one of the patterned ones with sort of the watercolour in the background. It's nice with Sadies stickers. You can see there that you get a lovely selection. You get the very plain ones with a little gold bow or maybe a darker edge frame around them, and then you also get sort of the watermarked ones. So it doesn't really matter what you use, they're very serviceable. Then I've gone back to print Petticoat Bandit with that little sheet of florals that I printed, and added those to either corner of this box, and just noted on there that the company that is recovering a lounge suite of ours that we've had for a while came and picked the couch up that day. We'd been hunting around. We've had a lot of our furniture for quite a while, and I couldn't find anything as sturdy. My family are a bunch of big people, and we need something that's long in the legs for my tall men. And this particular couch affords us that, whereas many that we'd looked at were quite small and shallow seated, and so we decided to get this one, which was structurally quite sound, just a bit dated, and having it recovered in a lovely sort of a French linen called mushroom. So I'm quite looking forward to that. And then I've just gone between those two events and popped in a little divider again, just a little one of my own, using those same bows that are in the ones under the date covers, but just in a small little, just as I said, a small divider to pop in there in the rose gold foiling. Using one of the little quarter boxes from the kit, I've gone down to the bottom of that section, and using also a little bit of deco, which again I've cut in half. It's surprising just how far that deco will go. It really is. It's really quite clever, and as I said, a little goes a long way. It just adds something quite special to a rather plain box, and that's got a very subtle little gold bow in the middle of it as well. And I noted on here that we'd ordered, I just put ordered wings, but we ordered some wingback chairs that are going to go with the recovered couch, because the chairs that are with that suite are just ginormous. So we kept the couch for the fellas and their long legs, and I got a couple of wingbacks that are a little bit more comfortable for the ladies, and they were ordered on this day as well. Then moving between those two boxes, the half box and the quarter box there, I've added another one of those print petticoat dividers to just fill that space. So it would have looked a little bit too busy if I'd have gone and added another sticker in there, but a divider was going to do the job on this occasion. Moving across onto Saturday, I used one of the flags from the kit, and I also used one of those print petticoat pieces of floral just to pop on top of the flag to make it a little bit more interesting. Actually, and underneath there I've also used one of those circle layering pieces that had the florals in the middle of it, just to add a little bit of colour to that pale pink. And I noted on there that I set up a new monitor. I use two monitors at work because I'm often sort of going from one area with data perhaps onto a spreadsheet or something similar, and having the two screens is just something that I've become quite used to. So I was trying to do a little bit of work from home, also was working on some designing, and I thought a second monitor would certainly be an advantage. And in my sewing / craft room, I've got nice white monitors which match my tower that my husband spray painted for me. I know, sounds crazy, but it seems like all you can buy in towers is horrible black, and I didn't want black in my room. And so I've got a gorgeous white tower with a pink front on it, fairy wings pink actually, and it really looks quite lovely because they're not particularly attractive pieces of equipment, but I'm pretty happy. And my monitors were white. We thought, well, we better get the white ones because the monitors and styles seem to change so quickly you can't really keep up. So they spent that morning just setting up the monitor and finding a place for it on my rather crowded craft desk and sort of study area, and that was good. It all worked really well, and I was able to do a few different things that morning with my new monitor, which was great. Then in the afternoon, I've used a quarter box with a nice little floral frame around the outside, and on there I've noted that I painted my nails this afternoon. I don't actually paint them. I think I've probably mentioned before I do use dip nail. I started doing that, it was actually before COVID started, just for convenience because I was struggling to make appointments to get those sorts of things done. And it took a little while to get used to it. One of my daughter-in-laws recommended it, and she sort of encouraged me. And there's no doubt about it, you do get better with practice. And now it's working quite well. I can do it a little bit quicker, and yeah, that's going well. And underneath the paint, the nails, I've used another one of those lovely pouches from GP Sticker Studio, and with one of the florals sections from the kit, marked again on there that it was just another lazy day. The whole theme of this 5 day and weekend break was most definitely to have a relaxing time. Had no real desire. I think even if somebody had have told me they'd pay for me to go on a trip somewhere, I don't actually think I would have taken it. I was really looking forward to some quiet time at home, and that's just what we got over this period of time, which was lovely. And then at the bottom there, I've used another one of the Planning Like a Pro TVs, and this time the bow's on the other side, so she alternates her bows, and I really love that with her products. It just makes them that little bit more versatile. And I've popped it on another little flag from the kit with a piece of the floral deco, and marked on there that I was finishing off this particular Turkish series that I mentioned earlier, and I enjoyed that, and that was what took me into the evening. I am sorry, I do realise that I've gone through the whole planning spread and kept the filming on zoomed out rather than zooming in to give you any close-ups. I don't normally do that. I usually do the day-to-day planning in a closer view, and I haven't done that. I'm not quite sure. I was trying a new light because I was doing this of an evening, and I wanted to get even lighting, and I think in the process of doing that I've sort of just lost my concentration and not zoomed you in or out. So I do apologise. I'll make sure the next video I do something with a little bit more of a close-up, and so that you can see a little better some of the stickers that I'm using, because at the end of the day, I mean, my week's no more exciting than anyone else's, no more or less, and what we do come here when we're enjoying planning is a great deal about the stickers. So using a flag again from the kit and a little circle with a bit of foiling, a bit of sort of confetti foiling on it, I have gone to the beginning of Sunday, and I've gone back to that lovely Crafts by Thaowie filming icon again, and I'm marking on there that I did film on this morning. It's quite normal for me. My normal sort of filming days are a Sunday or a Monday at some stage, or rather, beg your pardon, a Saturday and a Sunday. And I have certainly done that on this stage, but as mentioned in a previous video, I have fallen a bit behind, so I'm going to try and film twice a week, and I have managed to do that so far. And until I get caught up, I only like to be a week behind from my day-to-day plans with my memory planning, and that is certainly my aim in the next few weeks. So I marked on there that I did a film of a memory plan with me, and that was for February 22nd. And then once I had done that, I've come down underneath there, and once that filming section is completed, I have used the 3 tracker from the kit, which had a nice pale pink background, and I've used the last piece of the floral deco. And I marked on there that after the filming, which I had done earlier that morning, we headed off to have some brunch at the Heritage Cafe, which is local to us. You could actually walk there if you were so inclined. And on this day, we did take the pup with us because they've got a nice outside area. And he's quite a well-behaved little guy. So he came along and sat outside with us, and I think he rather enjoyed a little sliver of bacon off my husband's breakfast. And I think Christina gave him a chip or two. So he was quite happy to join us for brunch this morning. And again, it was relaxing, and we were in no particular hurry. and we really enjoyed this morning together. We don't always, although we're sharing a household at the moment, the four of us don't always get to eat together, so it was kind of nice to catch up on a Sunday morning for brunch. There's a certain feel in the air, I think, on the Sunday mornings. Everybody seems just that little bit more relaxed, and we certainly were after having had the full week, including, of course, the Easter, the couple of days before that. Not that the Easter period was particularly relaxing, because it was crazy busy with Easter egg hunts and those sorts of things, but they were a lot of fun too. It was really good to see the grandkids and some of my daughter-in-law's extended family having an absolute ball. So it's nice to have a balance of both. So using a quarter box from the kit and one of these planners from Rose and Tea Shop, which has a similar colourway to this spread, I've marked on here that I filmed and uploaded. Now, I've done a bit of fluffing around. I was quite happy to go with the microphone sticker, and then I tried at the top writing edit, and again, like I had been, it must be something to do with the end of the spread, because Wednesday and Sunday I had the same problem. I wrote edit up the top, which I really did not like the look of. Popped the planner down, also popped on the microphone, which, if I'm not mistaken, they were from Paper Muse Crafts on a clear sticker, and I've just popped that down there and looked at this edit and thought, yeah, I really can't live with that either. So went back and put the and in the middle, and then decided that the little YouTube sticker was still sitting on my deco there, and I covered up the edit. It just managed to work so that I only just covered the black ink, and frankly I thought that was much better than actual writing. So I popped down the YouTube icon on that. Not that I actually uploaded on this day. Oh yes, I did upload on this day, that's right. And I did some editing and voiceover, which I rarely ever do that all in one day, but that was the luxury of having this time off. So now I'm just going back over the spread because I failed to give you any close-ups, and I'm just doing a small close-up and trying to capture a little bit of that foil as I go. And then I realised that the dip that I've used for my nails is actually in similar shades to what was used in the kit. So that was a bit clever, wasn't it? Not at all planned, just the way it went. But that's a close-up of the spread. This was a beautiful little kit from Sadies Stickers. I loved those plummy purple shades. They were just a little bit different from my usual pink, but still a variation of the pinks, of course. But those plums and throwing in those deeper rose colours that were in the boxes really took this to another level. Here are the leftover stickers. There really weren't a great deal. I've used most of them, and what's left will go into my sticker book to be used in my my weekly diary. And that is the end of the spread. I did go back and fill in my grateful things for the week, and thank you very much for joining me. I'm just showing you a little close-up of this Feel a Beautiful pen, because the little gold bows that sit in this pen and sparkle with the Swarovski crystals are just too cute. It's just the sweetest pen. Trying and fluffing around here to try and get you a good close-up, and finally, there we go. Aren't they cute? I love it. Love this pen. Plus it writes beautifully as well. Thanks for joining me. Hope to see you back for the next one. Bye for now. You might notice that I did come back and fix that Wednesday. I just couldn't live with it. It's something I rarely do, but I've used a Barney and Moon coffee time. I used the coffee cup that was still in the kit on a $quarter and cleaned that up and made me feel a little bit better than the way it was looking. As I said, thanks again. See you in the next one.